What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm making a trip down to the farm, and I wanted to do kind of a ride quality video with the new Toytec Alumas. So for those of you who haven't watched my other video, I purchased the Toytec Aluma 2.5 coilovers from Toytec in the front, and in the rear I have their Aluma 2.0 rear shock with a 2-inch block and a total chaos shackle for a total of about 2.5 inches of lift in the rear. In the front, I'm setting around 3.5. This is actually my first highway drive. When I did the install on the lower control arm for the sway bar, there's a nut welded inside there that the sway bar bolt goes through. Well, that welded nut broke loose, so I think it's a 21. I'll put it in the description. It's a 21 millimeter, I think, the bolt itself. That's usually welded, so I need to work on that. But it was I could never get the bolt really tight, so I need to work on it a little more. And it's been cold here in Missouri, so I just pulled the sway bar off. So I'm driving with no sway bar. I've driven my last Tundras. My 2011 didn't have a sway bar when I had the old man EMU set up. With this Aluma, they have 700-pound coils, so I'm not getting a whole lot of sway just driving here in the city. But we'll see how it is on the highway. So, wanted to give ride impressions with the sway bar on. I drove a little bit with the sway bar on, and I noticed that whenever I hit a bump, either left or right, it kind of off-settled the truck. And from what I've read and from what I understand, if the right side, with a sway bar on, if the right side hit a pothole, it would transfer some of the energy to the left side. So what I've noticed with no sway bar is just city driving, when the right or left side hit a pothole, it doesn't offset or unsettle the whole truck. So that's a plus of the no sway bar. Now I don't know how it's going to be on the highway. I know like an emergency maneuver would probably be sketchy, but we'll see. I try to be a careful driver, so I hope I don't. I mean, you can't avoid all emergency maneuvers, but hopefully I can avoid most situations where I need to do like a quick, turn or you're dodging something. So here's a bump. I don't know how you can tell on camera. I can feel it in the truck, but it wasn't bad. Like here's a bump. Here's some concrete sections. So I feel like this is really comfortable driving over these sections with the new suspension. It really soaks it up. Even with my stock upper control arms, which I know are probably the limiting factor up front now, it still rides great. I'm impressed with it. I had the Bilstein 6112s and 5160s in the back before. My personal opinion is this rides better than that setup. But I think for the price, it's really hard to beat the Bilstein 6112s and 5160s. They just ride really good, and if you find them in stock, you can get it for a little over $1,000. Where the front, I got them on Black Friday deal, but the MSRP normal pricing for the front Toytec 2.5 coilovers is $1,200 by themselves, and then the rear shocks are $350. So you're talking about $500 or so more than the Bilstein setup. But overall, I'm super happy with the Toytecs here in the city driving. I think they ride great. I'm very impressed with them. I didn't have to do any modifications out of the box. The way they came preset is how I installed them. I did get a little more lift than I wanted, but they were able to align it and everything, so I didn't want to deal with having to you know, do the spanner wrench and reduce the preload and everything. So hop on the highway here. Here's a turn going about 30 mile an hour or 20 mile an hour. Not much lean at all. It's really good over these concrete sections here on the highway. Very impressed with the way it's riding. Here's a bridge expansion joint. See, that's really smooth. With the sway bar, it rode a lot worse than that. It would almost unsettle the truck. So I'm super impressed with that. We'll see how it does on the concrete section of the highway up here in a little bit. That's where it's really bad. I've never driven in a truck that actually rode good on that part of the highway. So we'll see if the sway bar removal made any difference or not. I don't think it's going to be dramatic, but so far it's riding good. Not get any weird sway to sway, you know, side to side movement either with no sway bar. I mean, even if I do the wheel like this, see, it has like a little bit of sway, but it's not like I feel like I'm gonna roll over or anything. Here's a little bounce. It just absorbs everything. I'm just super happy with these Toytecs. So if you remember from my other videos, I've had multiple Tundras. So I had a 2010 that had a spacer lift. Then I went to a 2011 that had the Old Man Emu coilovers with the leafs. Then I upgraded to a 4.5-inch BDS. Then I went to a 7-inch BDS. And then I traded that truck in for a 2014, which had the 7-inch BDS. And then I traded the 2014 in for this truck, which I did the Bilstein 6112 5160s. And then recently these Toytecs. And this truck, out of all my other Tundras, rides the best. The Bilstein setup and the Toytec setup both ride amazing compared to the drop bracket and the Old Man Emu, which had the 613 springs, which were stiff, and the spacer kit. I'm just super impressed with the way this truck has rode with the Bilsteins and the Toytecs. It surpassed all of my expectations in regards to ride quality. It's just perfect, and the lift height's great. On my 7-inch lifted trucks and my other trucks, I ran 35s. On this truck, I'm running 34.5s, so I still have the tire height. they're a little narrower than my other trucks at 11 inches versus the 12 and a halves, 35 by 12 and a halves I had on my other trucks. But this truck has tons of compliments. The color and the way it just sets. People will come up to me in parking lots and everything and just say they love the truck or the truck looks awesome. Which my other trucks had that too, but I mean they were over the top. It was a different demographic base, I guess. On my other trucks with the big lift and the tires that stuck out 2 to 3 inches from the fender, it was the younger kids that told me my truck looked awesome. With this truck, I'm getting, you know, older group of people, I'm getting younger people. It's appealing to a more diverse group of people, which means I guess I'm doing something right. I don't know. So I'm going to cut until we get to the bad section of highway, and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, we're approaching the horrible section of highway, which is a bunch of concrete sections. Right now we're on blacktop, or whatever you want to call it, asphalt section of highway. Up over this bridge is going to go to a concrete section, which is terrible. It bounces everything around, so we'll see how the truck does without a sway bar. I think it's better. But then, here we go. You get the kind of this type of thing going on. Yeah, I don't know how it's coming through on camera. I think the ride is better, but it's not like I said, it's not significantly better where it is, you know, it's still doing this motion. As we go between concrete sections. Yeah, I don't know guys, I think it rides better, but I think you only get so good on this. Like I said, I've never driven a vehicle. Our Land Cruiser still does this on this section of highway. My truck was stock, it did this. The 4Runners have done it this way. I've driven some cars, I've driven other trucks too, they all do this on this concrete section. So I think it's inevitable. I don't think you can avoid it, but even with no sway bar, see, even going like highway speeds, like there's no motion, there's no sway to sway or anything really that bad. It's still controllable, going side to side. I'll probably put the sway bar back on. I've ordered a new bolt, and I'm gonna try to find a new nut. So Toyota doesn't sell the nut because it's welded to the lower control arm. So I'm going to find my own nut, and I'm going to try to reinstall the sway bar probably. I don't think I would want to tow without the sway bar, so that's a downside, but I wanted to test it while I had it off, do a little video about the ride quality of the Toytecs as well. So yeah, I hope this is helpful for people that are asked about the Toytec ride quality. Truck ride's great, super impressed with it still. I definitely would buy it again. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up on the video if it was helpful for you. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much.